Yes, I'm going to see if I can catch the output or whatever, just so I can keep up with the chat. I suppose I could split screen it on the main screen, huh? Just with the couple of us here. I used to be, I don't know if you've watched any of my old channel videos or whatever, but I was a Hangout expert for my YouTube channel, right? Yeah. Really? There we go. Open a new window, that's what I want. All right, we're getting there. All right, that's to be on here. I've got audio peg and green on mine. That might be how your inputs are. Be an odd conversation only hearing my half of the conversation. Hey, you're right on the top of my recommended list for the Hangout. It says 12 people watching. Don't let them I've been on to hear you the whole time. Now I got to mute this so that I don't we don't get the thing going. They're telling you to grab a paper and marker and write everything out. All right.
How about now? Hello, can you hear me? Breaker 1 2.
Pop out chat. There we go. That's what I want.
I should get a paper, hold it up.
Can you adjust my audio level? All right.
Yeah, I did. Do you want me to turn you back down?
No, you're good.
I think I figured it out. I went into the control room, and both of our audio levels were completely all the way down for some reason.
Hey, you're getting the crew said that they can hear you, so
yay. I got to tell you, that would be the first time I would be silent, right? No. Caleb, you're in the house?
Yeah.
Caleb, you want to jump in?
Some familiar faces.
What was that?
Said some familiar faces in the chat.
Yeah. Well, we might as well check them out. What we got? Plasma was here. Bob, John.
Yeah, Tyler here.
Tyler, hey Tyler. Brian Vines, he's bouncing between us and the community catch up. Sorry about that. I always forget about that. It's funny because I always watch it the next day. I apologize. Chris, Mark, Caleb, the mastermind behind the new video editing, is here.
All right.
Daniel, how you doing? Old curmudgeons in the house. Tyler West. There we go. I think I got everybody so far. If I didn't, that's because you didn't comment. But welcome everybody. If we didn't, if you didn't comment, I didn't see you. That's okay. I appreciate you guys being here. I am here with Luke, the mastermind behind the help guide, Creality and more. JMTX, how you doing? First time joining.
Sweet.
I'll pull Caleb in a little while.
Okay.
He's on. I know I wanted to get him some little airtime for all the videos he's been doing too.
Sweet.
So oh great, I left it in the other room. I was gonna say, in my hands I printed out the new updated help guide. So if anyone out there has any questions on the new help guide, we got a lot of new cool stuff in there, some revisions. And Luke is the man behind all that. I know he added an Ender 5 section and You added CR-10S Pro, right?
Yeah, CR-10S Pro content. I felt bad for getting so far behind on getting it out, but I didn't want to put the pro stuff out until I was sure it was stable. That and just life gets in the way, right?
Right. Well, we're all, everybody's.
But 30, I think I added 35 pages. Part of that was for the newer people. I put in pictures with descriptions of what the items are on the printers, just so they know how to communicate with us when they come in asking for help. I think that's going to go a long ways to helping out people that English isn't a first language and or they just don't speak printer, right?
Right, for sure.
All been around a while. We know our way around pretty well, and you come at them and say, hey, they don't know the difference between an extruder and a hot end, and half the videos out there use that term interchangeably, and it gets really confusing for them, stuff like that. So
that is true. It's awesome. I like the pictures and the descriptions. I think, like we were talking about, I'll probably go through that and do a video, because I think that would help, the newer people out as well.
Yeah, I was figuring that was some new content for you.
For sure. Yeah. I that's one of the things I'll talk about tonight. I have so much stuff to film. I've just been crazy.
You've been working on your new studio. You got to get the studio done first.
Yeah, but that's what I'm trying to do. I was out there working until I came in here and fired this up. We got the new shelving done outside. It's 11 feet by what is it, 30 and a half wide, by 8 feet tall.
Mark says he needs CRX for dummies.
Yeah.
Well, I haven't worked with the CRX, so I can't give you much help on the dual feed system. But everything else for the CR-10S Pro applies to that as far as the mechanical tuning. So there's a little bit in there for you. It just won't tell you how to put two STL models together and make it work.
Right. Hey, Dutch, how you doing? I saw Dutch jump in.
They want to play the game. Where in the world is Luke Hatfield at? That can be a fun one, depending on how well you follow me.
This is true. I bet you it's not in Washington. We'll say that.
Yep. Not in my home state. That's a given right now.
But yeah, if anybody has any questions that's watching, go ahead and shoot them out there in the chat. We're here to kind of update everybody with what's going on with us and what could be coming up. We want to talk about the new updated help guide because it's got some awesome material in there.
And I don't have it's hard to do in this format, but now that the CR-10S Pro Max is out, the word's out that it's out, right? So I've had one since, when did I get that?
Early this year.
It was like 3 months ago or whatever. But, I've thoroughly tested it. I had it with the standard probe on it. They've switched it over to the
BL Touch, right?
BL Touch because of the problems they were having with the coating on the other sensors. But anyhow, it's a monster. I think the official listing had it at 450, 455, or what was it? 450, 450.
No, I think it's 460, isn't it?
510 or something like that. I don't know. When it was brought to me, they said 460, 460, 520, but they adjusted a little bit on the final release, and I don't know if that was just them trying to keep people from running into the top rail with the X gantry or what. But it's a monster.
It is.
The thing is a bruiser. So as part of my my testing of it, a buddy of mine was doing cosplay, and I did him basically a full-size chest armor on it. So as part of my PETG, right?
Right.
So that was pretty interesting.
That's awesome. I'm just gonna grab that link and shoot it over to Caleb.
Mm-hmm.
I almost
I heard it blurb on the output coming in.
yeah. I swapped over to the wrong thing, and all of a sudden I started watching us. But yeah, it's man, there's some cool stuff coming up. I can. Does any of them have dual Z-axis motors?
Yes. Oh, for the printers, yeah. So this
The Max.
CR-10S Pro and the CR-10S Max both have dual Z motors. And that's one of the things that was in the guide we can talk about just in general, right? Just for people that tune in and whatever. So there's a trend for people putting those anti-backlash nuts on, trying to hold the gantry parallel. You know, I'm not against technology and using hardware. For some people, it's working, but in my opinion, you're introducing stress into your X gantry system. So in my new guide output, it's basically the X gantry rework that we did with the Ender 3, but tailored to the CR-10S Pro series, right? So what it does from a mechanical standpoint is I have you level the gantry to work where the right Z motor doesn't even have to work. So when you add it, it's just an assist. Everything's squared, trued to work with a single Z motor. Now you have two. It'll repeat back to that same point when you turn the power the motors off. They're not going to twist against each other and then go back to the bed in a different orientation. If you've done some manual leveling to have your bed as close to level to your gantry as you can, which I highly recommend. There's a reason when I put up my screenshots of the readout showing less than 80 microns of bed leveling variance on a bed that's 16 inches square, because I four corner level it as tight as I can before it even gets into the bed leveling program.
Nice. I gotta ask Dutch what kind of beer. So
Luke's on the keto program, so no beer for me. I got sugar-free iced tea with no sugar in it.
Hey, I love tea. I'm on the water program right now because I was thirsty when I came in the house. But I know one of my Enders will have dual Z sometime in the near future. We'll say that.
Yeah, and it's not bad to have a dual Z. It's just you need to have it mechanically set up right?
Right.
And that's
it'll be interesting once I get the gantry, because I have to fix all that again on my Enders.
I guess with the fix, we should also tell them what people are doing wrong so they know not to do it wrong, right?
Right.
So where this all stemmed from was one of the early Creality videos, and I think it got shared around a little bit, is they're having you turn it on with the steppers disabled, and they're turning the Z lead screw to level the gantry with the little phenolic, or the little plastic block.
Sure.
The whatever that plastic the A-nuts are made out of. Anyhow, right. But they're forcing it level, right? Well, anytime you force something in a mechanical device, you're introducing, trap stress. And,
right.
These things work the best when there's nothing constrained, as it were.
Yeah, it's I don't know how many times I've done that on mine now, probably 4 with the X gantry, with the videos we filmed. But it's awesome when you get them going, and then when we get the dual Z on, it'll be interesting to see how accurate it keeps it. I'm going to order those TH3D re-released those measuring stickers per se as they go on each side. And
you have a reference so you can see if it's tracking.
Yeah, I'm going to put it on there, and I'm going to watch it and see if we can, if it's really tracking good. And I got some nozzles we got to play with still from.
I think even with your very first printer you had, once we did the X gantry rework, it stabilized more, so you didn't have to level it all the time, didn't it?
Yeah, for sure. I see Caleb now.
You just killed your own audio, just so you know.
Yeah, what'd you say? I see Caleb now. There we go. Now I see Caleb.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
You're
I need to kick your audio up. Hang on.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, when I did my there we go. Now you're good. So when I did my X gantry with the stock springs and just throwing the nuts under with the lock washers like we talked about, or the nuts under the bed like we talk about in the guide, man, I didn't level my bed for months, like probably 2 or 3 months I was like, man, I'm gonna check this now because it was very sturdy and you didn't have to worry about it.
Yeah, I think those are two of the biggest contributions I can give to beginners is if we can sort of get them to do those things. And because a lot of times they're just chasing their tail. It's not that they can't understand the paper leveling. It's they level it, but the gantry doesn't present itself back to the bed again the same way every time, and they get different results, and they get so frustrated, you know.
Right.
And, it doesn't have to be that way.
For sure. Yeah.
Plus, I mean, at the most, you're out the expensive 4 millimeter nuts, and even at Home Depot or Lowe's, I mean, you're talking what, $2 or $3 max to
right.
do that.
Yeah, we got some cool stuff coming up, but I want to introduce Caleb. Caleb, how do you say your last name?
Ferris.
Fair. Okay.
Ferris, like the wheel, like Bueller.
Okay. So Caleb's in the house. He is the mastermind behind all the new editing behind the videos. If you guys have watched any of the new, I lost myself, I think. If you watched any of the new videos, you have seen Caleb's editing. And I got to fix my microphone here, but
be careful with that M word.
What was that?
Mastermind.
Yeah. That's funny. Crazy. You guys can still hear me, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
You sound normal now. For a second there, you were like, you had this really deep, like,
yeah, it sounded like you had a filter on where it took you down into the bass tones more.
Yeah.
At first
I thought it was Luke, and I was like,
whoa.
But his mouth isn't moving.
But yeah, for those of you out there, you know, Caleb has been rocking the videos. If you saw the latest one, we posted the coax video. You saw the editor notes in the beginning, which was hilarious. He was actually in the middle of, well, you could tell the story. I know you were in the middle of trying to go out of town and get like 3 videos edited at the same time. So,
yeah. So, you had a bunch of videos in the drive folder that we share, and Steve and I were just about to head out to the Bay Area Maker Faire, and I was like, dude, I'm gonna be gone for the next week and a half. I need to edit as many videos as I can before I leave, so you've got stuff to post. But sorry, I'm so distracted by the chat. But no, so I edited them as fast as possible. I got all 3 of the recent videos done in the same night almost.
Nice.
And I got to the point where I was like, title screens, bleh, just type stuff out. And quick edits, let's go, let's get this done. And I got to that coax video, and you warned me that like the audio wasn't great, and this wasn't great, and that wasn't great. And I was like, okay, that's understandable. You know, sometimes you got a rushed production schedule. And so I went ahead and opened it up, and I started looking at it, and I'm like, oh no. So I just immediately added that section to the beginning.
Oh, that's funny. I had this.
Let me my mic picks up my typing or whatever. I was trying to answer somebody while you guys were talking.
Yeah.
So Hobie.
Go ahead and
Hobie,
answer Hobie, and then I got.
Howie.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, he was asking about the Ender 3 nozzle clog heat creep. I don't know what he's doing with the LHF. The LHF thing is, but.
Hey, Dutch,
anyhow,
while Luke is answering, I got to throw this out. Dutch, thank you so much, man. Looks like you just threw me $10 for some 2x4s for the new shop. I really appreciate that.
Nice. Thanks, Dutch.
And I got to say that I just turned it on. Thank you, Tyler, too. I just turned on the super chat or whatever it was called for this stream tonight. I haven't ever had it on before. Thank you so much, Dutch. Thank you so much, Tyler. You guys rock.
Woo! Go, Tyler.
Caleb, we got to get some Caleb some beer here, too. So,
got some filament.
Yes.
It's about filament anymore. I'm up to printers now or whatever, and they're hungry.
Right.
They get a lot of plastic.
Thank you so much for that. Anyway,
you guys rock.
I got a little second. So I can't figure out if he's dealing with heat creep or if he's wanting to know about the hot end fix.
Oh, Hobby Howie.
It
looks like Ender 3.
Yeah, so I think it's about the hot end fix. So it's got to be about the hot end fix. So there is a hot end fix for the CR-10S Pro. It's at the special details are at the bottom of the Thingiverse link. You can find the link pretty much all around town, right? But it does work for the Pro. You do have to take the hot end apart once to fix it, because they don't get set the same at the factory like an ender does, right? So the things to note there is that you're going to have to undo the 2 screws that hold the reference between the throat and the heat sink. Put your cut piece of tube in there with the washer installed and compressed, and then you manually adjust it so you just got about 0.2 millimeters of that PTFE sticking out, adjusted that way. Then when you put your hot end back together, it's how to do it's in the guide or whatever. But anyhow, when you put it back together, it's going to get that little bit of compression that it needs. So yeah, do that.
Did we lose Jim? Nope, he's there.
He was taking care of the cat or something.
Oh, okay. There's a joke there that
Yeah,
I'll keep to myself.
right here is pretty good where I'm at right now. Unless you're making fun of my connection. But.
So, side note, if you don't mind me getting weird and like mushy for a second, Jim and or Luke, I just want to say I think that Jim's audience is awesome. As a guy who's just like basically getting a bunch of footage and it's all being dumped on me and I put it together and then it's posted later. Reading the comments and stuff and seeing these people in the live stream and in the live stream chat, these people rock. And you're almost up to 2,000 now, right?
Right. Yeah, that's
awesome.
awesome. I'm hoping you guys can hear me now. I had to mute my microphone because we had a small cat.
I spam his channel everywhere. I spam his channel everywhere I go because people like videos better than they like the written guide. So,
oh yeah,
they're always going to get the video link or whatever, and occasionally they get a part if I really think they need something that we haven't got on video. But
it's 2019.
I'm
in
putting
general,
them out
people
there
don't
quite a bit
enjoy
every
reading.
day.
Nice. Yeah, we.
Yeah, I understand, and that's part of the reason it was nice of Jim to hop in and help out with the videos. I wanted to turn them into video, but honestly, with my job, I just don't have time to sit down and do quality videos on all of the techniques that are in there.
Oh yeah. Come on! I do it outside
it's
of
been
work.
a good.
I appreciate it. You know, when I got a hold of you and I was like, hey, what do you think if I film this? And you had no idea who I was. And I was brand new, so that was probably even more weird. But
I think I reached out to you, if I remember correctly.
I was talking about Luke.
Oh, sorry.
When he said that I could film his stuff, and I appreciate that. I apologize for the cat thing. It was all of a sudden my cat was underneath in the cords under my desk, and I didn't want him to shut me down. But to what Caleb was saying. Yes, we have an awesome audience, and I really appreciate that. The guys, the comments you guys make on videos are great. You guys are, you're pretty much constructive. You make great comments, and you ask questions, which is awesome. And with Caleb, I threw a post out on Facebook, and I said, anybody interested in taking on a secret project, a video project? And he just responded and said, yeah, what is it?
It was so funny because when you responded, you were like, you sent this really long message about, hey, I understand a small chance, like this is small as it's getting started, and there's not going to be a whole lot of pay involved or any pay at all.
Right.
And like, I understand if you're not interested, it's totally fine if you're not interested, blah, 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 blah. And then I just responded with, okay, when do we start?
Yes.
And you were like, oh, wow, really?
This is a true story. I was.
Yeah, so this is one of those things. So to relate it, so things that may be small for you right now, right? A little bit, but you got to look at what you can get from doing stuff like this, right?
Mm-hmm.
So to give you an idea. So I did. Everybody's like, how do you get set up to be a beta tester for Creality like I did, right? They're like, oh, I can do what you're doing. Just get me signed up, right? Well, I put in hundreds of hours of my time on the Facebook groups, helping people out, not asking for anything before I was approached by Creality, right? So sometimes you got to do something for nothing before you get something for something, right?
Right. Yeah, and
you got to put in the effort, and eventually it becomes its own thing as long as you stay passionate about it, you know?
for sure.
Yeah.
And I gotta jump
growing.
1 second to the chat real quick. Let's see. We were missing a couple things I wanted to make sure we touched with.
Ooh.
Old Curmudgeon said he hadn't touched his bed wheels in a month. Of course, he had a 9x9 mesh with the BL Touch. Let's see. Yeah.
Seabass says, can we do a tutorial on switching to a Bondtech without messing with the firmware? So I could add that in, not to oversimplify things, but if you look at the end of your wire plug, if it reads left, right, 1, 2, 3, 4, you pull the pins out by pushing the little things and sliding them out of the thing. And you put them back 4, 3, 2, 1. Then you just have to tell the software that you want 413 E-steps instead of your 80 or 94 or whatever E-steps.
Right.
But not to oversimplify it, but it's not super duper hard.
Right. And let's see what else we got. Techie Dad was in the house, or is in the house. He says for his makerspace, he's building a 6-foot by 30-inch workbench. Material's only about $85 and uses 2x4s and 1 plywood sheet. That's awesome. Chris says we like cats. Yes, I love cats as well.
Yeah, you were definitely trying to get some internet points there.
Yeah. Well, I was just digging him out from under the desk. I'm just glad no one had to watch that.
Right. Ding.
So before we get too far off, let me do one plug on the Bondtech thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I have a Bondtech original that I paid, the full price for. It wasn't sponsored or given to me, so that was $90 some odd by the time the dust settled or whatever. And I do have an aluminum take off of it, and I said that I wasn't going to run any of the clones. I was just going to run the originals, but I have a quote unquote clone, but it's milled aluminum, and they've actually added features to it, so they've improved on the design. Nice. So I have to backtrack on my word and say that I am actually buying a clone now. I'm not buying the Triangle Labs or whatever. They're pretty popular, but there is an aluminum one. If you catch me on a good day, I'll get the link to the name of that one. I don't have it put to memory, but so it's an aluminum frame. It's going to hold up better than even the injection molding of the original. But the cool part about those ones is it's set up so you can actually have it become the heat sink. So you can do sort of Bondtech-ish directly to the heat block without having to have a heat sink. It's got milled parts in it and a place for a fan to attach, and you don't have to have the Bondtech, the heat sink, and then the hot end. It just eliminates that middle piece, and it turns it into a lot more compact assembly. So over time, I might do something with that. I'm not huge on the direct drives. That's why you haven't seen me put out something about direct driving one, because I just don't want all that mass on the hot end, but it does have some neat features to it.
Nice. What do we got here? Shameless plug for Tyler. If anyone is in Richmond, Virginia, come check him out at GalaxyCon this weekend. Do that. My cat is getting in trouble again here. Anyways, yes, Dutch. Some great ideas. Looks like a humidifier in the shop, which would be awesome. That is going to happen because I'm hoping to have a filament cabinet. So I'm going to have a dehumidifier in the shop for that, and nice. Probably in that cabinet. Seabass, to answer your question, and I think Luke actually just answered your question. I'm not doing Bondtech, but Luke alluded to direct drive, and that might be what this is right here. So that is courtesy of you don't know what? I don't know if I can. I think I can say it. He was in my chat stream the other day saying it. So that was a courtesy of a gentleman that makes them, and he's going to be selling them out there on the C3D site. Let's see. Tyler, you can throw a link up there if you want. So Tyler and Cody, it doesn't look like Cody's on right now. The place where Luke's guide is housed, they actually have a store now, and they're doing Ender 3s, and I believe some new stuff on there as well. And I believe they're going to start selling the direct drives through Matthew, and it's going to be awesome. So we're going to do a video for them about the direct drive on Ender 3. And I really think what's going to be cool is throwing the the TH3D Dual Z with that direct drive. I think that'll be awesome.
Right.
Maybe a little less. I was worried about that right carriage there. But uh-oh, looks like we just dropped Caleb. But what else we got here?
Not to steer your program on that, but if you're mechanically inclined, I put some serious thought into actually adding a second follower wheel.
Okay.
Sort of go dual eccentric nuts and rig rate, and that would give more support for all that weight you're fixing to put on that hot end. That's pretty involved, but it's basically you drill 2 new screw holes or whatever, and you'll have 2 eccentrics instead of 1, so you have 4 wheels hanging onto that rail instead of 2.
Gotcha.
I haven't done it yet, but I'm actually playing around with an idea of a printable deal, if I could figure out how to pull it off, to sort of put a wheel on the back plane of the carriage.
Nice. Looks like it looks like Techie Dad shared a link to the workbench he's building. That's a pretty sweet workbench. I might have to look at that for some design. And then Eccentric Nut is in the house. Eccentric Nut. Prisculata, congratulations on the wrench. I don't mind.
I think I've been wanting a wrench for a while. He came out on Maurice's today.
Yeah.
His live stream.
I gave a couple people the wrench, but I don't think they commented yet to notice.
Oh, hey, I have a wrench. That's cool.
And then Tyler.
The power now.
Yeah. So C3D .media is the website. I think it looks like his internet cut out for a minute. But check out that. They got some really cool stuff going on over there. Brian, everybody wants a wrench now.
You get a wrench, and you get a wrench, and you get a
2
wrench.
eccentric nuts. People hardly can stand one. That's hilarious.
Everybody look under your chairs. There's a wrench.
I tell you what, whoever has a wrench, I don't know if you were in Narice's chats earlier, or Narice's stream earlier, but if it ever gets just a hint of that bad, just kick them from my channel. I don't even mess around with that crap. They got really bad.
Level is like 1/10 of his, and I get it.
Yeah, it was well,
it was ridiculous there for a while.
He's pretty tolerant with them because he just makes jokes back, but it got to the point where the people in the chat didn't want to. I felt like, I don't know if I really want to keep reading this crap.
Yeah,
it was big.
Yeah, I was in and out. I was modding for a while, and then I had work distractions. I mean, man, they want me to work sometimes. I don't know what's up with that.
That's funny. Hammer down. So if you guys have any questions for Luke, shout them out there. If you have any questions for Caleb, if you guys have seen any of the new videos, I'm sure you have. Check those out. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. That's awesome. And mash that like button. But Caleb is the he came out and started. He came out with fire. We'll say that with the Wednesday video, and then that last TH3D video where we were popping back and forth. That was hilarious. But
literal fire.
That went pretty well on your sort of flashing back and forth.
That was pretty funny. And we were down there, and Tim's like, "I have this concrete room. Do you want to pretend like you went to the wrong place?" I was like, "Heck yeah, I do." So that was pretty funny. Hey, Mr. Kimberly.
They're asking about the zesty nimble.
We have not. I have not myself.
So
Chris wants more.
I hate to be curmudgeonly about it. If you really want direct drive at the hot end, I would rather have the zesty nimble than throw a stepper and everything on top of the carriage. So I really appreciate it for that. It is a little bit steep though. I mean, what are you looking at, $120-ish US to have that privilege for a flex cable and a base extruder.
Right. And he said he's putting it on an Ender 3 in Australia. Hey, welcome from Australia. That's going to be, if it works, great. I'm hoping it does on your Ender 3, but that's a huge mod for an Ender 3.
Right. Well, there's back and forth. Like I spent $100 on the Bondtech for one of mine, but I had some donations from people that were thanking me for the program or whatever. It was like, well, it was around Christmas time. I'm like, hey, I'm going to spend up a little bit. And it was worth it, right? The machine was maxed out for what it could do for quality. I knew that would give me a little bit better finish quality, and I don't regret it one bit because it really smooths out those stepper impulses. But it's not for everybody, right? I mean, not everybody's got 90 or $100 or
Right.
shoot. Some people have the $20 to $40 for the clones. So there's that.
Hey,
there's plenty of printable options there too that people can do.
Right.
As well.
Cody's actually in the house now. He just popped in and he said, "Did I check out my direct drive kit?" It is right here. I have not opened it yet. We have been remodeling the garage and turning half of it into a new studio/shop for filming and doing all this fun stuff. So I have literally spent almost all of my time outside of work in the shop out there, or in the garage out there, trying to get it good. And Caleb can contest to that, because I have not sent him any new videos to edit in a minute.
I know,
but
it's not my fault.
Yeah, no, he's like, what's going on? I haven't heard from you. And I'm like, oh my God. But
it's all right. I've had a rough last couple days / weeks, so
right.
It's been appreciated having a little bit of time off to focus on life.
Hey, life happens, and without saying anything, I hope everything's good.
Yeah. Yeah, everything's doing better.
Dutch, I gotta say, a stock Ender 3 can perform super good if you tune it right. I mean, and I think Luke can contest to that. I keep saying contest. Anyways, Luke, I don't know why. Luke,
that's the word of the day.
Yeah.
Man, I wish I could add lower thirds and graphics.
People ask me, do I have to have all these fancy things to do good prints? The 4 bed stabilization nuts, follow the guide. A good pair of Bowden couplers, you do need those so that the tubing doesn't get loose, even with the mod, the hot and fix or whatever. But even the hot and fix is a free print, right? So you really don't have to spend a lot of money, $2 or $3, and you can have it printing as well as the prints I put up for the most part.
Right.
So,
yeah, sure.
I get a little annoyed with some of the people in the community that people come in and they're taking these people, they ask, well, what mod should I do? And they're like, well, you should put on a micro Swiss hot end or whatever. They don't understand, the people receiving the advice, that they're going from easy to use PTFE line hot end to a hot end that can't be retracted more than 3 millimeters without jamming on them to use high end materials that they're never going to run because they're going to run PLA all the time.
Right.
You're not doing any favors, right?
It's a solution, but it's not a solution to the problem.
Pitch sessions on that, but the other day I was about ready to. I'm like, just let the people get their printer to get it set up, and then they can decide if they want to do high temp stuff. I mean, I don't even have an all metal on any of mine, and I'm doing nylon and shit or stuff. Sorry, have to edit that out in post. But anyhow, there's not a big need for it. The Capricorn, yeah, because the stock tubing above 245 has proven to be sort of dicey on its longevity. But you can get Capricorn or even the no-name stuff, as long as it's a higher density of PTFE and the components of the tubing, it will work for you.
Right.
Yeah.
Going back a minute, he said it was 150 Australian dollars for for that Zesty Nimble, and that's a heck of an that's a heck of an increase.
But their money, the way the conversion rate goes, that's close to the 120 US I was talking about.
Right. But hey, if my problem I'm having lately is that I look at everything and how many printers I could buy for that. So we've
and it's everybody wants to pay the upfront costs, because right now they're printing some of the parts and doing that or whatever. I think if they could get set up injection molding and improve their throughput costs, it's an $80 device, and then I could recommend it all day long at $80. I think that would be worth it for those that wanted to use it. But
nice,
we're not there.
And
that's just my.
What was I going to say? Oh yeah, I've been judging costs. So I'm doing all this stuff in the studio, and I'm thinking in my head, how many printers could I have bought or purchased, I should say. But I can't. I need the space to do that, so I have to do it. But a couple quick shout outs. Sean, how you doing? Cody, you're right. You've opened it. That is a step further than I have. Dutch, he did an easy Extruder and a glass bed, which is a great choice on the Ender 3. I think both are good upgrades, and that's really all you need, really. Because with the easy Extruder, you got to do the Bowden tube too, because that stock stuff is garbage. Someone, old curmudgeon, he ran 4 mil on his Micro Swiss, got linear advance and never a jam. That's awesome. So problem with Zesty coating, according to Cody, he's saying that the Zesty has big retraction.
It's the ratio, right? So I don't know how the Zesty people are dealing with it, but like even with the Bontex, so you're going to a 3 and something to 1 ratio. So I go into the guts of the speeds and I turn up the travel speeds and stuff, so it's traveling at the same rate. And that stepper is moving or whatever, but they're not overheating or anything. I don't know that has to be a problem. You might need to actually just go into your EEPROM and fix your values.
And now they're giving me a hard time for saying button.
There's no mercy on here as a content provider.
Right. Yeah, that's okay. You guys are right. You had to feed them. CR-10S Pro need more upgrades. There's a bunch out there for CR-10S Pro. There's always something.
If you're really having a hard time finding upgrades, I've got several different in-feed rollers for those in my One Bad Marine on Thingiverse. There is a mod where you move the sensor. Highly recommend the mod to move because it allows you easier access for filament change when it runs out. You can actually get a hold of it without having to use pliers and be a contortionist. That being said, there's warnings in the mod. Be very, 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 very careful with the wires because I broke mine 3 times just doing it the first time. So I had to put new GST connections on because I broke the wires. But if you're careful about it, you can do it without breaking them. But I just don't want a bunch of hate mail because the warning's there.
So
you might break GST can.
That's funny that you say break the wire. So most people know, or I think most people know, that I have a CMC. I got the Rostock Max V4, and I filmed the whole build video.
Yeah, when are we gonna do that?
I could get you the files. I just need you to look at them because I made some mistakes.
Okay.
And I can't go backwards. So I can't go backwards. And
Sean said he's got most of the collection. Well, that's good, Sean. I do. Just a funny note. The other day, somebody from the staff at Creality threw up a live feed really quick, and their engineers were testing out my hot end or my Fang style fan duct. They're sort of seeing it in their lab being tested. But
so
I've had really good luck with it.
Where I was going with that was I do have the Rostock. I'm going to be doing some more videos on it soon, or doing any videos on it pretty quick, or hopefully soon now, right? But while Caleb's here,
Who boy?
you print on a 3.2, right?
I print on everything basically.
Yeah. Well, you have a lot of access, but we won't go
right.
there.
Well, I mean,
but
we can if you want to, just to get that out.
Yeah, go ahead. If you, I just
like,
don't want to.
yeah.
I don't want to say that without you saying it.
No, it's fine. So just for full transparency, I do work for CMC. I'm their combination of their media guy, and I also work in the production area, building and calibrating printers. But Jim and I talked about this when I first got started. This is like working with Jim on his channel and doing his video editing and stuff. It's an entirely separate. It has absolutely nothing to do with CMC. So there's no. My brain is a series of light switches. I'm able to just kind of flip things on and off. There's no real in between. When it comes to Jim's videos, there's no like bias when it comes to editing videos that have to do with CNC products, just because I use them. I enjoy 3D printing. I've been in the 3D printing community for a long time, and being in this community, I understand that there are different manufacturers, different ways of doing things, different types of printers, different filaments. And although I'm a fanboy of my personal company, I totally like get that entire community. And as Jim was saying, making a whole series of videos about the row stock has nothing to do with Jim being biased towards the company I work for, because it's just, that's on my side of the equation. I just edit the videos. Jim does things that he thinks are cool.
Yeah, I usually do them because I think I'm cool, and then someone either tells me they're not or they tells me they are. I'm not sure yet, but
has anybody told you that I'm not cool yet? Because I mean, that could be a problem.
No, not you. I'm talking about.
I'm pretty not cool. So,
so I actually met Caleb during the tour, right?
Right.
And, and we both had similar cameras. His camera is like the big brother of my camera, and so we were talking about that, and that's how we became friends on Facebook. And then the rest is history. And I don't know honestly right now with the videos that you're editing, the way you're editing them fits my personality so well. As it's
we like, what was it that Lindsay said? We were like, it's like we were meant to work together, basically. Communication is really easy. The communication is really easy. When you make occasional kind of flubs when you're talking and stuff like that, I can't help but laugh. And then like if I edit something into a joke or something into the video, you're like, oh man, that's hilarious. So like there's a good dynamic going here, and I'm really enjoying it.
Where I was going with this, because
Sorry.
Chris says I need more B footage. I should shoot more B footage.
Caleb, I was going to mention that a while ago too. Yeah. We need more B-roll.
I need to get better at that. But
that's okay.
What I was going with this is actually Caleb prints some really awesome stuff. And if you check out his website, if you want, throw your website on there, Caleb, because you have some really cool stuff on your website.
Most of the stuff that I print, I haven't posted much on the website as much as I do print on a regular basis. I'm actually more I'm more active on social media, posting things that I'm printing. But you can find my social media accounts from my website. So
okay, perfect.
I'll throw that up there.
Yeah, do it. And
it's in the link in the description too.
Yeah.
I almost felt bad the other day when I did that Area 1 rainbow stuff because I spammed the whole community.
Hey, sometimes we got to do that. And so there's shameful, but don't worry about it. So some cool stuff coming up. I foresee an Ender 5 sometime in the near future-ish, hoping. And Luke and I have been working on that for a while.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people have asked me. I have probably people email me at least once a week, like, "Hey, what about this on the Ender 5? Or can you shoot this on the Ender 5?" Well, I don't have an Ender 5 currently, but I'm working on that.
We're not having one to almost having to worry about if we got two coming, but we're sort of figuring that out.
Yeah, this is true. Hey, on the other side, I have a spy cam radio alarm clock coming, whatever that means. But
are all the guys sort of spying what's back there? There's a non-Creality printer sitting back there.
That's the one you were putting together a couple of days ago, right?
Yeah, that's the TiVo Tornado. How
did it work, or was it not working?
So it was a user return. It was hammered, right? I know somebody asked when I saw Naomi's video yet. I haven't seen Naomi's video on the Max, but I'll watch it here pretty soon. If anybody has seen what they're asking for pricing on it, I'd be curious because I haven't been able to research it, and I'd like to know what they released it at. But anyhow, so it was a basket case. It had Z binding. Half of the stuff was so loose, there's no way they could have ever gotten a successful print off of it and whatever. So I spent the better part of a day and a half getting through that. Then once I got it all together, turns out that they undermotored and under B-refed the Y-axis motor. So I got to play games with skip steps on the Y-axis for a little bit and whatever. I got it working now, but it's still not quite as nice as like a CR-10S Pro for the print quality, but it's decent.
Nice.
I won't kid anybody. It's not quite Ender quality or Creality quality, but I think it can get there. But I've only had a little bit of time to figure out what its quirks are that I need to smooth out. But that goes just for people that haven't figured it out. I'm just doing it for something for me to keep my brain busy. Right? something new to suss out. So I created the hot end fix for it already. Adapted my in-feed roller to it and sort of engaging their community a little bit to see if I can get some more printers from them to work on.
So,
yeah, the TiVo Tornado.
So Cody said he got 3 of them recently. We already know that.
Tornado Gold.
Yeah.
I haven't very on, but there's a regular and a gold, I guess.
Nice.
I got the gold.
Cody, we already know that you did because there's someone created a website and it's streaming all the time. So no, I'm just joking. He's talking about the spy cams.
I don't know if I would want to put a spy cam in my bedroom, to be honest.
No, it's definitely not going in there.
So we're all getting hit with the other stuff other than printers. Will you review it or advertise it or whatever? So
right,
I am going to have some videos coming up on my channel that probably won't be worth. I shouldn't say that. People won't be super excited about it, but I have some reviews coming up.
Nice.
They're non 3D printer, right? So I've got a pretty cool device. It's one of those battery packs to recharge your phone, but it's got built-in solar panels, right? So there's one right on the panel on the main part of the phone, and there's another 3 panels you can dock into it. But the thing has like, what is it, 2,000 milliamp hour recharge ability, and you don't have to be at an outlet if you're out camping or whatever to recharge your stuff. So that's pretty neat. And then I have a gamer's cell phone with the high battery capacity, and it's supposed to be all set up for online gaming. So I'll be doing some gaming, testing that out here pretty soon. Something else is a distraction for me.
Nice. Yeah, the one I ordered, they're sending me, I should say, is it's an alarm clock, and it's funny because don't even remember the last time I ever used an alarm clock for one, but because I use my phone, but it's an alarm clock. So my thought was I throw it out in the shop so I can always tell what time it is, and then use these spy cam to watch the shop.
I would have looked at doing it for that because they offered it to me, but I'm on community Wi-Fi everywhere I go, and every time I move, I'd have to reset it up or whatever. And plus, you need to have a computer that's able to talk to it on the network for the data saving, right, for the recording. And I travel my laptop with me during the day. I don't leave it in the hotel, so that just doesn't really work for me.
Cody says they're pretty cool. He has the alarm clock, the phone charger, and the small camera. They're standard IP cams, and they're honestly pretty cool.
Yeah.
Is the clock a free gift from the printer guy? I don't know what the printer guy means, but
it's the Japanese sales rep or Chinese sales reps.
It is for review for one of them, yes. But I thought, she's been asking me to do stuff for a while, and I was like, why not? I just laughed because it's an alarm clock with a spy cam in it. I just love it.
Every time you say that, I get more terrified.
Yeah. Well,
some people are going to hate me, but when I'm done with that 3D gaming phone, one of two things is going to happen. Either one of my sons is going to steal it, and I'm going to get their phone back so I can do a IP camera watch on my printers at the hotel, or it's going to be turned into that duty. So we'll see how that goes.
Nanny cam, yes. Now, the shop actually, I already have cameras around my house, and the garage will have plenty of cameras included. Well, there would be some in there, and including the printer cameras. So, anyone on the chat right now, you want to chime in, or Luke or Caleb, if you have some ideas as well. I was just double checking something real here, but what I'm doing is I'm building a very large workbench, and then underneath it will all be completely enclosed, and filtered, and all my printers are going to be underneath my workbench. That way I can work on top and they can print underneath. And so there'll be two heights because the row stock is much taller than the other printers I have. And so I'm going to have two different heights, but I'll be fully enclosed. It'll be filtered and a lot quieter because they'll be under there. Of course, all the safety precautions will have automatic fire extinguishers and smoke alarms and that kind of stuff. But if anybody has any ideas what to throw in my 3D printing area, my studio, my shop, whatever you want to call it, throw it out there. I know I've got a lot of beer suggestions. I've got cake grater. Earlier, I think Dutch said dehumidifier. Definitely, there's going to be heating and cooling. That way, we can keep it consistent in that area. But anybody,
so Hobby Howie has a new question. Don't apologize for asking a question. That's what this live stream was for.
Yeah, don't be sorry. Ask away.
So this has been coming up a lot lately. People can't seem to get all the springs to the right compression without one of them being loose because of the strain relief in the back left corner. I've put it out there a few times, but I don't even know if I got it into the guide. But the real quick version on that: adjust the back left corner where that is to tight, and then back it off 2 full turns. Take your nozzle back there, set the Z end stop there, and match the other 3 to it, and you should be in good adjustment. I hate to oversimplify it, but that's how simple it is. Go to your most restricted spring, which is that back left, get it in its happy place, and then and I'm telling you, two turns off the tight is going to be giving you the most compression you can get on the other 3. So that's how you sort of fix that.
Right. Nice.
And maybe I need to add that as a section in the guide. I'll see, make a note to add it to it.
And don't worry, you can ask questions. We're always going to answer. It's only $19.95 a minute. No, I'm just joking. But but don't forget, check us out, like the video, subscribe if you're not subscribed. I did turn Super Chat on, so if you want to throw a cup of coffee our way, go ahead. I will send a virtual cup of coffee or a beer to Luke because I don't think he can have that right now. But
I can have Luke our beer. I drink wine. Just like
there you go. Nice.
A dry wine that fits into my keto thing.
But any funds help, and we can definitely help Caleb. He's what was in the last video? You were tired.
You trying to say coffee is bad for you?
Oh,
yeah.
I'm not even a coffee drinker. I've never been a coffee drinker. But they've proven that coffee is actually good for you. Even in my keto diet, they say that you can have better benefits of the diet with drinking coffee. But I'm not going to start drinking coffee just because they say that. But that's not true. So anyhow, sorry, I didn't get too distracted there.
No, you're good. I was saying Caleb's like cold and tired and forgot all the things he wrote on that last video, which was hilarious.
That was just because I was editing them all in one night. A little bit of behind the scenes though, I guess. There was a voice. I sat there for about 5 minutes. I didn't kill too much time on it, but I actually sat here and recorded a voiceover and added like some echoey effects to it and some dripping noises, making it sound like I was in a basement somewhere for that text. And then I imported the audio, and then I was like, you know what? I don't like what that says. And I changed what it said in the title screen, and I was like, I don't feel like re-recording this, and I just deleted the audio.
Nice.
So they're asking if you guys are going to do the installing Octoprint on a machine. I personally have avoided the electronics part of this whole 3D printing journey. I'm not necessarily electronic averse, but there's so many different configurations that it gets wild after a while trying to do something that suits everybody, right? So I've just sort of stayed out of that sandbox for now myself.
Eccentric Nuts says a paint booth or airbrush setup or station or a print prep area. I like that. I didn't even think about that. That is what I'm looking for. Anything I didn't think of like that. I think
even if you had a little compressor that could charge up, you could use it for sort of blowing printing dust off of the machines. That'd be sort of sweet. Right.
I think my wife would really like the airbrush or paint setup as well. She likes that kind of stuff, so I think she would get a kick out of that. And And if you're using glues and stuff, that might be a good thing to vent out, 3D gloop and stuff. But who else? Octoprint John. Yeah, I use it on my Ender now on the, we'll call it Rosie on my my Rostock Max V4. I like to call her Rosie because that's easier. She uses that Duet board. That Wi-Fi board is awesome. I love that. I just connect to it and I can do everything right from it. I think Caleb can probably back me on that. That board is amazing. And then I will have an Octoprint set up on all the printers that how do I say that? Do not have that. And someone yesterday, I think it was yesterday or Sunday, when I walked through, no, it was Monday, yeah. When I walked through the garage, someone recommended an Octoprint, basically a shelf or a drawer or storage or something. Yeah, and I was like, that is a cool idea. Something like all my Octoprints sit in with some ventilation and stuff like that. But
yeah, I'm not anti-Octoprint, but I can tell you just from what I've avoided, if you can, use RF shielded wiring whenever possible. Try not to stick your Raspberry Pi on top of the other electronics in the box. It's convenient to have them there, but most of the problems that come from data loss, that when people come crying to me, I lost a 64-hour print at 60 hours. It's because something went wrong in that setup. And I'm like, my SD card never does that to me, right?
Right. That is the only problem I have. So if you lose power to your Octoprint, it's done. You're in trouble. Unlike the Duet board, that Duet board, you send everything right to it, and it prints right from the built-in SD card, and that is awesome. If I could have one of those on all my printers, that'd be awesome. But those are a little expensive for that.
Yeah, there's a new 32-bit board that's pretty inexpensive. I'm investigating. It's got my attention. I'm not ready to go prime time with it, but it has some abilities like that.
Let's see. Eccentric Nut, a mini shop, or a shop vac mini shop chip system with gates every few feet for cleanup or vent fuming. I like that idea.
Sweet.
UPS, yes. Actually, as far as the shop vac thing, I think I want to do a wall-mounted one in the garage. For multiple reasons. For one, it would be awesome for, like you said, cleaning stuff up, and for two, it'd be so much easier to pull my car in and just vacuum it out from there. dual use.
Those single point systems are pretty nice. Plus, and depending on how creative you get with it, you can set up the discharge to go under a partially closed garage door or something like that if you don't have any outside windows or whatever. Yeah.
And the UPS, yes, there'll be that. Definitely have a UPS in there.
He's in IT. You gotta have UPSs.
Yes. Oh, Mr. Timberly, thank you so much. Thank you, man. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, I'm not traveling with UPSs at the hotels. If the power goes down, I'm just
What I love is that you're printing in the hotels. That is so funny. I mean,
yeah, so I'm looking into doing some research mainly on my homeowners, because I've been thinking about it. Like, what if one of these things goes wrong and the hotel goes up, right? What's my exposure? Insurance wise, right?
Right.
I think in my short term, I think I'm going to get those little chemical things to stick up on the top of them, so that if they do have an issue, it at least doesn't turn into a full-on fire or whatever.
Right.
I do have them set up with the thermal runaway protection, but that's no guarantee against anything.
Yeah, that is one thing I want to do on my cabinet. I'm going to put them all on like drawer slides, so all the printers will sit in there, which will be awesome. Then when I can open the door and just slide it out to work on it, change filament, whatever I need to do. That way I'm not on the ground like, in in a cabinet. But someone suggested Monday something fireproof underneath it just in case, and I thought that was a really good idea. Eccentric Nut was funny as I had a Note 7 and they made me return it because they were afraid the battery was gonna blow up in my pocket.
I missed out on that. I went from the 5 to the 8, so I skipped out on that.
The Meanwhile power supply has a terrible power factor, 0.6 when loaded. I've seen 420 volts, 285 watts when heating a hot at the same time.
Yeah, it'll give it to you if you ask for it. That's sort of the way it's set up.
No.
Yeah, it's not gonna. Your power supply is not gonna give up the ghost if it gets a full on to the bed uncontrolled or something like that. Right?
Another shameless cat plug.
Yeah.
Yep.
Phrasing.
No going underneath the desk. I have everything cabled, and if he likes to chew. So,
What's your cat's name? I never knew.
this one is Guinness,
Oh, yep. Okay, I knew that.
and the other one is Jameson.
I'm noticing a theme.
Yeah.
Both places we went on our honeymoon in Ireland. And,
Oh, that makes it even cooler.
what's really funny is my wife came up with the names, and she doesn't drink either.
So
She doesn't not drink. She doesn't drink either Jameson or Guinness.
Oh, gotcha.
So, but we just thought it was cute names, and
Yeah.
one was a dark and one was a light cat, and it worked out well. And it was that was my shameless cat video.
Naming your cats after their favorite drinks.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I should do some horrible video of my loading up my printers for travel. What does it look like traveling with printers?
Right. All right. That's it. You're kicked out.
Oh, sorry. What did I do?
Yeah. I just put the band hammer on my cat.
Yeah, for sure.
Jim, do you have a Twitter account for Edgertech?
Yes, it should be. I think it's in the description of the video. If not, let me just double check it.
Yeah, don't look for me on Twitter. I'm working on my Instagram. But, I'm not.
Oh, yep, it's here.
I don't Twitter, tweet, or twat or whatever.
Do you what's your handle?
On Instagram?
Oh, so you're not on Twitter at all?
No.
Okay, gotcha.
If you find me anywhere, it'll either be my regular name or One Bad Marine.
Gotcha.
I am not on the Twitter sphere right now.
Yes.
I have hard enough time getting Instagram posts up, let alone tweet it all the time, right?
Dutch, R.I.P. Grumpy Cat. You are correct about that one.
Oh yeah, that sucks. I just heard about that recently.
I didn't know Grumpy Cat was a girl.
Oh, you didn't?
No.
Yeah. Her name was Tartar Sauce, right? I think that was her actual name.
That's awesome. So my Twitter is all crazy because someone had the Edge of Tech.
Oh yeah, Tech Edge of.
Yeah.
Darn. Why didn't you just make it like the real Edge of Tech?
I know.
Full on Ghostbusters on it.
I should change that, right? That's why she was so grumpy.
There's
that
the Ghostbusters and the real Ghostbusters. That's why she was so grumpy. Why? Because her name was Tartar Sauce, or because she was dying?
I've been pretty lucky. One Bad Marine isn't generally taken when I go places.
That's true. I should. You know what I should do? The Edge of Tech official.
Oh yeah.
I just had a flashback to my gaming days. The little, you know how it is with older people, younger people gaming together, right? The second that they hit my profile and saw that I was a Marine, all of a sudden I'm a baby killer, right? And that used to really hurt me. Like, you don't even know what you're talking about, and they'd be coming at me like that. Like, just stop.
Right. Nice. Well, yeah, if anybody out there has questions, shoot them out there. We're just kind of BSing some cool stuff that we do have coming up. I did mention the and Cody is on this too. We did mention the direct drive extruder stuff. I got some Vision Miner nozzles that I need to play with. It's probably not going to focus. This one's a steel one. And I have a couple of those I want to play with. We have, man.
General tech tip for the steel and stainless steel nozzles. Up your temps. A lot of people put them on and expect them to work like the brass, and they have all kinds of problems.
I did hear that. I'll have to watch. I'm not sure
So
if I'm
it's
going to
about
jump in.
the ability of them to pass heat, right?
Right.
So steel's not as bad as stainless steel, but so like this is a general rule of thumb. Steel 10 to 15 degrees add. Stainless steel can be 20 to 30 degree add, which can be problematic if you want to run a stainless with like PETG. You add 30 to 245. You're at 275. You're outside of the stock configuration of most.
Right.
As cool as it is that they might not wear out, don't think that you're going to put a stainless steel nozzle on and be done with it for life, right? And it will need maintenance. If it's stainless and it's going to last a long time, at some point you're going to have some buildup on it. You're going to have to either chemically or physically clean it out. There's maintenance to be done with that. Just know that.
Hobby Howie, what I think you said, I can't remember where you were. Were you in Australia? Best cheap PLA. Oh, man, that's a good question. I don't know if I can answer that because I've been pretty lucky with PLA, but I know that if you go to the cheap PLA and other filaments, you usually get cheap results. So middle of the road or good stuff is usually good. But yeah, hobby or it depends what you want to spend and where you're at. I know if you check out if you're around here, and I'm not sure if they ship international, so that's what I need to find out. But if you're around here, if you check out the Coex video we put out this past week, just a couple days ago, there is a 15% off coupon code in there. I believe you got to buy like two rolls or something like that to use it, but it's very worth it. And then if you spend over $50, it's only $5 shipping anyway in the US. So
normal shipping.
Yeah.
So I will say this in general about filament, especially most people are ordering from Amazon for the most part. Go check the reviews. I wasted my time on some nylon a while back. I didn't bother to read the reviews. Had I read the reviews, I'd have known that like 35 people had returned it because they're shipping it out with chemical makeup properties that just you can't work through, right? So I lost the time trying to make it work and all that stuff. But just do your research. It's not the best to just go online and say, hey, what's the best filament? Because everybody in the powder's got most of those people that answer you, their experience is one to three types of filament max, right? They don't have a big enough sphere of exposure to give you a good answer. I know it's sort of limiting or whatever, but it's very true.
So I can actually chime in on the filament thing a little bit, just from experience that secondhand experience, I guess. So my coworker, his name is Richard. I don't know if I think he's on Twitter, but he's not on Facebook or anything. But he says that when he needs to get a large bulk of filament for very cheap, he actually goes through a company called Ziltech, which I'm sure a lot of people have heard of.
I've heard good first-hand accounts of Ziltech. So.
Yeah, and more importantly, they have like a bundle deal where you can get 10 rolls of filament for $120, which is $12
a roll. That's not bad at all.
No, that's not bad at all. And I mean, spending $120, but you get 10 rolls of PLA. I know that Chris is in the chat. He just said he buys from there, but my coworker, he prints all sorts of stuff and props and costume parts and stuff. And he says when he needs a bulk of filament, he usually goes through them because it's cheap and it prints pretty well.
Yeah, I scored a little while back, so not everybody gets the deals, but I was in a non-Creality group that I frequent. I guess I could throw out a shout out from 3D PC Tech on Facebook. I'm one of their staff writers there, although I haven't been doing much writing directly for them yet. But anyhow, I had
sorry.
Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say real quick, though, it should be mentioned and he mentioned this to me before, but I'm looking at their website and I just remembered. If you like, they only offer that in black and white. They don't offer like a 10-pack of colors. You can either get 5 black, 5 white, or 10 black and 10 white. There's no. So if you're looking for colors, it's not necessarily a great idea. But if you're just looking for bulk filament to print bits of things out, like for instance, like I said, for him, costume parts where he just needs a lot of material, it's the way to go.
It's all about, are you post processing the thing? Or
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I had scored. Well, I scored once on a deal that turned into a second score, right? So I got, and I know I'm going to draw a blank on it. Company down in California, AIO Robotics. They put up a thing. They were clearing out a back shop space. They had, I don't remember what it was. I think the first go around was 20 spools. They're half-kilogram spools. He offered it for like $5 a spool, which was $10 a kilo the first time. And I bought all of that, you know, not knowing what colors it was. I just took it as a bulk lot because it was shipped to my door. No extra freight charges or anything. And because I did that the first time, the next time they come around, they found another stash of the same type of stuff. And it was 46 rolls or 48 rolls that time. And he dropped it even lower. So it got it down to, I paid $8.88 a kilo for really high quality filament. The AI Robotics, I have nothing bad to say about it, not just because I got it cheap, but it just prints really nice, really vibrant colors. I think that the current going price for the half kilos is around $11 to $13, depending on color, which isn't horrible. It's not the greatest, but if you want quality filament, that stuff, I don't have any problems with it at all, dimensionally or color properties.
Yes. Sorry, Jim. I forgot you had a promo code that you were trying to plug, and I just totally plugged a different company.
No, you're good. I
It's
think,
all right.
yeah,
Like I did the Perion Rainbow, Silk Rainbow PLA.
right.
I've seen a bunch of people have picked it up now. It's good filament. It was a lot of fun playing with that. But,
Yeah, I like I like to see pretty much as we can.
I did some.
I just put that video out, so I thought I'd throw it out there. So if anyone was watching and wanted to use it, if you haven't tried Coex yet, I'd say, why not try it? It's good stuff. They also have mystery rolls, which are a little bit cheaper. And I learned in that video, they kind of talk about what they are, and that was kind of cool. I have 2 mystery rolls, and I need to print something cool with it.
Those are the color transitions.
Aren't the mystery rolls basically the question mark dum-dums?
Pretty much.
They're doing color transitions between one color to another, so it's not,
And they do large rolls in the video. Oh, looks like I froze there for a second. Am I frozen to you guys?
Jim, it's time to chill out.
Yeah. So look at my hair. My hand is like way up. I don't know what you guys are seeing, but
Yeah, you're frozen.
I did a couple of G-Tech samples the other day of the G-Tech filament.
Right.
It's really good filament. You don't usually think of the printer manufacturers of having good filament, but whoever they co-opt with is putting out good filament. It all printed really well for me.
nice. And so I see. Let's see if I'm still frozen here. Hey, there I am! Yay.
Now
maybe
you're frozen on a different frame.
that's hilarious. Well, whatever. I'll just do this. So it looks
I wonder
like
if you're what are you using a webcam or are you using the camera on your computer?
webcam.
Okay. Which one do you have?
It is a crappy. What is this thing? Logitech. Yeah, it came off my Ender because I'm not using my Ender right now.
I don't know how long we've been live, but my best 78 minutes. So my best guess would be that maybe it overheated.
There we go. I needed to give it a break. There we go. Real quick,
HP Pavilion laptop camera.
yeah. No, it's a 270, and I'm looking at a 922 or Tim told me to get the one that does 4K. But anyways, I was looking at the chat real quick. It looks like Old Curmudgeon says Filicube PLA2. Eccentric Net equates Amazon Basics to Starbucks. Not the best or the cheapest, but an average, not too bad for your money.
I hear mixed reviews on the Amazon Basics. I've heard people that love their PETG, people that hate the PETG, people love the PLA, people hate the PLA. So I don't know that you can quantify it well.
Right.
And some of that is you got to weigh it, right? Was it operator error or is it filament property issues?
So behind the scenes, somebody Cody has been chatting me here as well behind the scenes, and I can't say much. I can say check out the link c3d.media. They got a lot of really cool stuff coming up too.
They're selling full printers now too, aren't they?
Yeah. They have some printers on there and a bunch of more stuff coming up soon. Oh man. So that'll be awesome. I know a guy who'll do videos for you if you want. I'm just going to throw it out there. No.
Who's that? I've been looking for a video guy.
I've been looking for a guy that could stand here and shoot video because apparently I need to work on my video shooting technique.
I'll be honest, it's frustrating sometimes.
Yeah, it's
because like I really enjoy editing, but where my real passion is videography or cinematography. So sometimes I'm looking at your shots and I'm like,
zoom out, get something center frame. Help me help
That's
you.
okay. I know I can rotate that. I think that was the first phone conversation we had after I started editing for you. I was like, so try to line the shots up a little bit. You've been doing a lot better.
I've been trying to line them up, and I got to work on my white balance. And yes, someone said, Chris said I move around too much. I do move around too much. I just I can't sit still for 5 minutes. My wife is probably listening out there, but she's probably laughing because that is totally true.
Yeah. No, I'm the same way. I totally get that. I'm bouncing my leg constantly.
Oh, yeah. I move way too much. Cody, yes, you do. I really appreciate that, and thank you for the heads up to Matthew on this. I appreciate that. Cody at the C3D store is going to be selling that direct drive kit, and he actually reached out and had Matthew send me this kit, reach out to me to see if I'd film it for him to send it to me, and I was like, heck yeah, why not? What's the worst that can happen? We take a really good, perfectly working machine and break it. Okay.
You can always get more parts.
Well, I heard there's this guide we could follow to fix it, so I think we're okay.
Yeah, just don't commit to it too much because I've intentionally shied away from those hardware upgrades that can go wrong.
Chris Culata says my leg's not talking because it's bouncing. Yes,
yeah.
It could be way worse. I try to be pretty good, but I mean I could be like, but yeah. So if you guys want to see something, throw it out there. If you have ideas to what to throw in the shop, throw it in the
This is your chance to speak up and say either stuff you would like to see on film or video and or in the guide. Let us know. I'm not averse to adding stuff to it. When I first started, I was intending it to be a collaboration, but I have not really gotten anybody to collaborate with other than one guy helping me out with making the table click through links. And I really appreciated that. That was sweet because it makes it a lot easier to find stuff. But it's pretty much become my baby, and I'm just adding stuff now. So
right. And
side note, I'm just kind of curious. I'm wondering how many people in the chat watched the blooper reel and what they thought of it from the Alien 3D video.
yes.
At the very end, I watched it.
What was one of the comments? Someone commented on that video and said, "This is the best unboxing ever."
I couldn't help myself. There were so many fun moments there that I just started dumping them into a separate video timeline, and I was like, I got to put this into something later.
Right.
So Jeff says he says he's not so so worried about the videography as long as you get to learn something, and that's what we're hoping to do, right?
Absolutely.
So yeah, it does matter. I mean, nobody wants to watch a junk video. We got that, but I hope that's what we're bringing to you is stuff you can use to improve your printer. That's my whole intent with what I do. Right?
I agree there, and I'm glad that you don't mind garbage as long as you learn something, because just learning all this at the same time, I know some of it was not the best. But hey,
what these guys don't know, before he had an editor. Jim was doing the videos. He'd send me a copy. I'd tell him what he needed to change, and then he'd have to go through refilm sections, then edit it again.
Yeah,
this is a true story. Well, it was your
I
work.
think we did a pretty good job of capturing most of what needs to be in the key points from my manual. I know that the written part sucks. Nobody wants to read anymore. I get it. I didn't have time to do videos, right? But I had time to write the guides, and I was basically copying and pasting that information to give it out. And this allowed me to do it with pictures and get a little bit more in depth, right? So that's why the guide exists as it is.
I guess
that's the point where I'm gonna have to start calling it the book, right? Because we're at 130 some odd pages. It ain't getting any smaller. We'll see how it goes over time. I might have to back it off to keep it easily movable as a PDF. I might have to back some of the photos back down.
Well, I do got to tell you, I prefer to do both. So because you have a guide, most people don't have that. So I like to look at the steps and see what I need to do, but I also need to watch somebody doing it, because for me, I'm a visual learner.
Right.
And what I like to do is when I'm filming the guide,
I've had lots of people tell me that they got my guide open and your video open at the same time.
Well, I actually check off, even when I'm filming, if we're filming in the guide, I actually go step by step and I check off each step as I go, just to make sure I filmed it for one and I read it. And I just like to see, I don't know, something about me, I learn better visually, and that's why I wanted to do this whole project. And on the other side of things, I really like to see it on paper saying, this is the steps to do it.
The problem is some people tune out too early, right? Guide or video.
Right.
They think they've got it handled, especially like the hot end fix before we did the actual hot end fix. Getting the compression on the PTFE for the brass mating inside the hot end. People would read through it and they're like, well, this is like everybody else's information, clean it out, put it back together. Well, no, at the end, we told you to back the fitting off, jam it in there, tighten the fitting or lock the fitting, and then drive it in, which compressed it, right? People were skipping that step and they're telling me I'm not getting there. I'm like, you're not following all the steps.
Yep.
I can't help you if you don't take everything there, right?
People need to think of things more in terms of like Lego instructions. It may be something that seems repetitive, but if you decide, oh, I've done this 3 times, I'm going to do it the same way, you're going to end up with missing pieces at the end.
Right. If you come to somebody looking for a second or some people would say expert opinion, read it all. There's probably something there that you need to know.
And even if there is something repeated that you already know, typically hearing the same thing from different people with different experience levels and different perspectives helps you understand a situation a lot more like well-rounded or a lot more thoroughly. So,
and then there's different takes, right? So
I love hearing repeat information because of that.
A lot of people that are working with my content, I sort of have an environment, right? Because for everything to work the best together, if you tune the way I suggest tuning, if you do the E steps and flow rate like I suggest, it all sort of goes together. And I get people all the time, they take a couple pieces of the puzzle and they're like, I'm not getting the same quality as you are. And I'm like, well, you haven't done all the pieces to the puzzle, right? You can't sort of hunt and peck and do that, right? So it's sort of an environment, if you will. And the biggest thing I think is a lot of people are stuck on the E steps through the hot end, right? That was based on having crappy extruders, crappy hot ends, and just trying to come up with a stable way to quantify flow, right? I assure you that the guys that are making the slicers are not intending for you to do your E steps through the hot end. They want to know if they give you a command to move, X length of filament at this diameter, that's what they're going to get. And I think that's why people are starting to come around to my way of doing that, right? but they're not out there hollering at you. Don't do it through the nozzle, right?
What's cool is that we're really starting to see in a lot of the groups, we're starting to see people share the guide. We've been seeing,
Resharing, yeah.
and we've been starting to see people share the videos, which is awesome. And I appreciate it, because without you guys all watching, without Luke, without your content getting everything rolling and continued content and help. Now without Caleb's editing, I don't even know how to go back. I don't know what I would do now. Like
that's the whole great thing about having a remote editor, and this is how I pitched it to you originally too. It's like you can focus on really, really good content. You don't have to worry about. I'll make it look pretty later. You just like make sure that it's really good content.
You give me a couple takes to work with, and we'll
yeah.
I'm not gonna lie.
I work on the totally opposite thing. I have no time for post editing, so I get a mental idea of what I'm going to do in the video. I do it. If things don't work out perfect, you get it with the not perfect, and we go.
It's so funny. Like another like behind the scenes tidbit is a lot of the videos I'll get take that's very obviously like the third or fourth, because the video starts with, okay, here we go again, and then something will happen and it'll end with, sorry, Caleb.
Yep. This is true story. What's really, and I got to say, you have your work cut out for you, because it's hard to make this look pretty. I'm not gonna lie. So
yeah.
Yeah,
But,
you guys haven't come up with this for the between cuts or anything like that?
oh, I do. Sometimes
Yeah,
sometimes I'll wave my arm. Most of the time, it's a swear word and like, sorry, Caleb, let's do that 6 more times.
Yep.
Yeah.
The worst part is I try not to get too caught up in editing in line with the video, but every now and then I will just kind of cut through as the video is going, and then you'll make a mistake and you'll say, oh no, okay, scratch that, I'm going to say that again, and I'll go, I just made 5 cuts, okay. And then I cut it, I delete everything I just did, and then you do it again, and I'm like, I just cut that again too. Sometimes I just need to like stop, and if it's like a 3-minute,
you need to watch all the raw footage before
watch the whole thing first. Yeah.
And I've been, another behind the scenes thing, like most people don't see, but I've been good most of the time about trying to only send the cuts that have the good ones in them. And so sometimes I do get like 2 or 3 in one, or sometimes I stop and recut it. And sometimes there's like 10 that I don't.
Putting him on the cutting room floor though, send him all the stuff so that he might be able to dub your audio from one over a video for the other, right?
True. And a lot of the close-up stuff, I don't know if you've noticed or not, because it is pretty subtle, but some of the close-up stuff where it's just your hands and you talking into the microphone, a lot of times I will cut your audio so that the sentence makes more sense, but the video will continue flowing. I'll just have the audio undercut, so you don't. I basically use the main footage as B-roll at that point, and then the content still makes sense, but visually there's still some more continuity that keeps it together.
Right. Pretty much he dubs like Chris Isaac or somebody over me, and then
Macho Man Randy Savage.
Yes. Oh yeah. But yeah, I definitely
Maybe later on, if we want to get really crazy, you and I can do a collab video where we go back and forth, sort of like you did with THD or something.
Let's do it.
Yeah, we could do one where Luke is on.
I'll have more time for that in the fall, winter when I'm not on the road so much.
Yeah.
We can do one where Luke is on the one side of the machine or one side of the screen, and Jim is on the other side of the screen. You guys can pretend you're in the same room, even though you're not, and I'll just edit it together.
That would be funny. Yeah, but I do appreciate. I appreciate Luke. I appreciate the content and the advice. I could pretty much chat you any time of the day, and and you're like, hey, this is what's going on. And Caleb, I definitely appreciate all the time and the work that you're putting into the videos.
You got it, brother.
We hopefully we'll get a little bigger, and we can definitely get you some compensation. But
I enjoy editing and I enjoy helping out. And I had my own YouTube channel for a while, and I just kind of like fell off from doing it because it wasn't going anywhere. So seeing somebody who actually has some decent content, I really like supporting that. And like I said, I've been looking for an opportunity like this for a while now. Payment for special payment for special skills is nice, but in this particular instance, I'm totally fine just working on it because it's fun.
It could turn into, do a occasional editor's review of something, or get you some product to work with for your home setup or whatever too.
Hey, that would be cool, but I'm not expecting any of that. I'm just having fun.
I like it.
It'll eventually, hopefully, come with the program. Right?
Yep. Amen. I got to say, I
never know what's going to happen. It's not anywhere near official. I'm almost reticent to talk about it online, but Creality is considering flying me out this winter to visit the factory and spend some time with them. So
nice. Congratulations.
Sweet.
I told them
it may not happen. So if they don't do it, don't get pissed at them or whatever. It would be logistics if it doesn't happen. But
I told them we need to translate
there and maybe have some more influence directly with the engineers that I've been working with through an intermediary, right?
For sure. And everybody, real quick, I appreciate anyone who's donated. I did put the super chat thing active this time. I've never done that before.
Yeah, seriously, that's
people.
awesome.
3 people jumped on there. Thank you so much for that. I really do appreciate that. I don't know how to get it yet, but we'll figure that out later.
Is there a way to?
I got mine set up to go through PayPal, so it just goes.
Oh, nice.
In that way. If you set it up right, it go through PayPal right back into your checking account. If you do.
Oh yeah, and that's how.
Don't tell my wife that though, because I tell her that it's stuck there and I have to spend it on more 3D printing stuff. Right?
What are you saying, Caleb?
I was just saying I wish I could bring up a list so that we could give the people who donated a shout out, but I don't see anywhere to pull up a list of.
It is Mr. Timberly, Tyler, and Dutch.
Yeah, Dutch.
Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate that. I do appreciate that. Yeah, it goes great.
Got to thank people very much. I get more donations off of the PayPal link for the guide than I do Thingiverse.
Right.
I think I don't want to diminish those that donated at Thingiverse, but I'm somewhere between 2 and 4 donations at Thingiverse, and it's for all the design time you put in. I guess it'd be better if I went to one of those paid hosting sites where you pay for the STOs, but the money doesn't flow very freely on Thingiverse. Well, the guy that I've actually, it doesn't come in really regular, but it's actually helped me to buy some extra stuff for the printers to do more content. So that's been great.
Nice. Yeah, thank you guys so much for that. And hey, I got to throw it out there. Is anybody out there going to IRF? I don't know. So
I guess that's technically not too far away from me. I don't have much of an excuse, do I?
Well, I do know that we are looking into it. We're actually, I got a wedding Friday, but I'm trying to figure out if I can. I'm just looking. Someone bombed me here. I was trying to see if I could do the wedding on Friday and then fly very early in the morning, as fast as I can, or early as I can. I mean, on Saturday morning, to get out there and then hang out there and then come back. Like Sunday night or Monday morning or something.
When is it taking place?
It is. I have to look. October.
Okay. Because I would most likely be driving out there if I go. But even if I don't go, I'm sure you're going to be bringing a camera with you, right?
Oh, if I go, I'm bringing a cameraman with me.
Okay, good. Even if I'm not able to go, I'll live vicariously through.
Nice.
Yeah, I totally messed that up. I'll live vicariously through.
It's 2019. You can live by whatever you want.
I'll live vicariously through the footage as I edit whatever videos you create while you're there. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, so I think Luke stepped away just for a second, but Cody said IRF, yes. Are you? I know. I'm pretty sure Cody and Tyler are going. If I go, I won't be able to bring anything except for whatever I can bring in a luggage. But let's see.
And all you need is a camera and a good microphone. Create good content.
Amen. And I heard that I have this editor guy who likes filmography, and was hoping maybe if we go to, hey, you never know.
Yeah, if I'm there, I would absolutely love to do stuff with you. You could have your main camera guy. I mean, I guess we could talk more about this later, but you could have your main camera guy just doing the wide shots, and then I can focus on B-roll the entire time. And then we have two camera angles.
My main camera guy is my wife. And,
well, you said you were bringing a cameraman, so I was assuming. Was
that
guy that hangs out with you?
That was you.
Oh, gotcha. I thought there was another guy that hangs out with you and does camera stuff. Who went to you with to coex with you?
Oh, to Steve. Yeah. He's a good friend of mine. He lives here in town, and we work together.
Gotcha.
That would be cool.
That
would be cool if he could come too. Let's see. Me, Tyler, and William from C3D. Pretty sure Tim and the TH3D squad are going too.
Nice.
Oh man,
see you there, then, Cody.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes for me next year. But this year's not gonna fly.
For sure. Murph, I got to figure that out. I scheduled a wedding, man, like 6 months ago for next year, and they moved Murph. They moved it one weekend to get a bigger building because they really outgrew the building they're in.
Right.
And when they moved it, they announced the dates, and it's, of course, I have a wedding on that Saturday, and I'm like,
East Coast Rep Rat Festival, right?
Yes,
keep saying Murph.
Well, I was talking about Murph though next year.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, so Murph next year, they announced the dates, and I have a wedding on that Saturday already, so I got to figure that out because that one, my cohorts that were with me this year, or that let us crash with them this year, really in the booths, being Tyler and the TH3D crowd and Cody, and like I said, Tyler and Cody from C3D and Tim and everybody from TH3D. They're like, you are coming next year.
You're right. Yeah, you have to. And you're going to have your audience should grow quite a bit between now and then. So you better go.
That would be awesome. Again, thank you guys for watching. I know it's getting a little bit late here, and I know.
Oh yeah.
I didn't even pay attention to the time, but anybody else, if you want to see something filmed, we're going to wrap this up pretty quick. But if you want,
I'll hang out until around 11, and then I'll 11 my time. I think it's almost 10 your time, right?
Yeah, it's about 10. I think it's only about 9 where Luke is right now.
It's coming up on that, but I still have to pack.
He's going to get ready to go. But
yeah, I got a few more minutes with you, but I do got to get loaded.
No, that's cool. So what I'll do is let's do this. If anybody wants to see anything filmed, if you have any questions, shoot them in the comments. Hit that like button, and if you haven't subscribed, please do that. Luke, jump in there. Who are you? What you do, and all that fun stuff.
Oh, so Luke Hatfield. If you've been on any of the Facebook groups and don't know who I am, you probably got your head in the sand a little bit. But I generally hang out on the Facebook groups. I work directly with Creality management. I do not get any stipends from them. I do occasionally get beta test printers, and I do get close access to them as things are happening. I have been working a little bit with their Facebook management team to make things better for you as a user. They do really want to improve their user experience. So there's that. I have at the C3 Media, the links around out there where my guide is. All of the Facebook groups that I'm in, if you see me there, in the group file section will be a copy of my guide. I post it everywhere that I participate. There's also my profiles. They're basic profiles. They're not, the to be super touted, highly developed profiles. They're solid profiles that a beginner can work with, right? And a lot of guys don't change them. They just keep using them, right? That's okay. But they're intended for a new person to be able to use with the machine that may not be perfectly set up. And they do a pretty good job of that. So, yeah, that's most of what I'm doing right now.
Right. Caleb, go ahead.
I'm Caleb. Last name is pronounced Ferris, like Bueller or the wheel, as we all found out earlier in the stream.
Sorry.
Not spelled like either of those, though. That makes it really fun. But no, I'm the media guy and one of the production guys at CME CNC. And in my free time, whatever free time I have, I really enjoy doing video editing for Jim over here on the Edge of Tech channel, and he's got cool content and a pretty cool audience, and I like being a part of this community and just being able to help out and watching it grow over time.
Where can they follow you?
Oh, sorry. My website is in the description of the video editor, Caleb Ferris. And then at the bottom of my website page, you can find links to all my social media. It's just easier to route it all through there because all the links are there. But
I guess I left out that I'm one bad Marine on Thingiverse, so if you run across designs from there, if you like them, that's me. If not, then I don't know who he is.
oh yeah, hopefully nobody finds me on Thingiverse from this crowd because if you do, I'm sorry. There's some weird stuff on there.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, my name's Jim. I'm with the Edge of Tech, and I really appreciate you guys coming out and hanging out.
Who are you again? How did you get this number?
What was that?
Who are you again? How did you get this number?
Yeah, that's awesome. But thank you guys so much. Thank you everybody who watched, and thanks everyone who jumped in and donated money. Check out the description of the video. We do have a Patreon campaign going on. I believe Eccentric Nut is my one and only Patreon out there. I really appreciate that. And we do have a PayPal out there if you want to jump in. Not necessary, but it's always appreciated. I need to get Caleb fed before the next video.
Oh.
No, but everything. Welcome to Ron says, welcome to the 12-step group for 3D printers.
Hi, Ron.
Nobody said what that 12-step program is.
Yeah.
Is you go till you have 12 printers, and if you survive your budget and your wife, you did well.
That's a little bit too accurate.
That is true.
I've been playing with that one for a while.
Considering I potentially have 2 more coming sometime in the near future, it'll be fun. But thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Luke and Caleb hang out for a minute, and we'll say goodbyes in a second. But Ron says she has 4 and she's ready to kill me. That's funny. But,
like I said, if you survived to 12, you made it.
Nice.
Right.
But thanks again, everybody who watched. You guys have a great night. We'll see you next time. We'll get some new videos out soon. I am sorry we haven't put a ton out lately, but we're really working on that freezing video thing. We're really working on the shop outside, trying to get that ready so we can even do better content. But you guys have a great night, and keep printing.